But anyways, we've got a pretty intense matchup here, actually. This is the MIT A team against UCLA's B team. So this right here is our board 2 against their board 3. So they've got a national master on board 3. So they're a pretty good team for Division 2. UCLA's B team, we beat... Um, who did we beat to get here? It was a pretty good match. UCLA definitely was the favorite. They did really well. Yeah, it was. So yeah, they just started. This is the first round of 4. Let me post this picture to help my team out so they know the matchup. Okay, so let's see. Our board 2 is playing with black. Yeah, so let me send them the matchup as well. We are the bottom seed, I believe. Okay, so I think we're ready to go. Let me just post that I'm live so that they can people can see. What's up, Vampire Slayer? I'm sorry you missed the turtles. This is a Collegiate Chess League commentary match right here. I don't know if they're also streaming it. That would be cool. I don't see them though. All right. And maybe want to announce it on chess.com as well. All right. Have you guys been paying attention to the game? Did we just sack a queen? I mean, not sack. Ooh. Nice. Caleb with the knight. Taking advantage of this pinned pawn. Black firing back, grabbing another pawn, unleashing the rook on the queen. But fortunately for us, I think this is still pretty good. This bishop looks pretty closed here, but I'm thinking, oh, okay, they're going to take, but we can take here. Yeah, there's a lot going on. This bishop's on the queen. The bishop's on the king. So I think we could honestly take here. Okay. Well, yeah, takes here and like push is a really strong fork. So Caleb up 5 points of material here against their board 3, which is really good news. This is a national master, but looks like Caleb's doing just fine here against them. Let's move on to our board 4 against their board 1. Lots of national masters today. So we're going to grab this pawn. What's going to go on here? No, we're not grabbing the pawn. Why not? Why not? That looks like a free pawn to me. I mean, because bishop takes with check. All right, so good move by our board 4 here. Not grabbing this bait. I saw this. I just didn't see it was check as well. All right, so it looks like we got to move our bishop. Maybe just put some pressure on the knight. Luckily, nothing's attacking this pawn because b4 can be played and remove this defender. So what I like to do normally is bishop to d3, adding some extra support, knowing that this knight could be kicked at any moment. But bishop to d3 at this time would fail. Again, this d4 knight is getting some pressure. So we're going to have to defend with the rook. You can't play bishop to f3 because the knight's covering it. So this is looking like a little bit of a predicament, although we do also have knight to e2 to defend if needed. Yeah, we need to get this king out of here at some point, but these dark squares are looking pretty weak considering. So we start with rook to d1 from the a file. And is there any way that black can add additional pressure? Alright, so going for a4. You gotta get this bishop some space. a3. So I'm expecting either b4. I mean, I think b4 is probably more likely than a4. Okay, so the knight's rerouting, going back. I really like the knight on this g4 square. I don't know where exactly the knight wants to go now. Maybe c4, but I don't think so. Let's see, maybe the bishop wants to go to g4. That seems like a fair move, right? Removing this defender of d1. So you really have to cover g4 is the thing. You can play maybe... yeah, bishop g4 is going to come really hard now. You have knight to f3. Knight takes, pawn takes. Oh, they have really low time. Yo, let's flag this guy. Simple move. Fast move. Alright, you can just take that. Or queen back. I like the time pressure. I also, I'm encouraging to go fast, but he's got the time. He can think here. So b2 is under attack. Maybe just knight to f5 and ignore the pawn. Knight f5. That's the thing, is the queen's going to be taken. I don't know. This is really good, though. If our board 4 can beat their board 1, that's really good news. So we can take here. Okay, with the rook. Interesting. I'm afraid of queen takes b2. Because now you got to deal with this knight. Maybe... Alright. Yeah, so this pawn's going to fall. Unless they play here, but this pawn's also going to fall. Oh, and they just flagged. Yes, that's huge. Huge win. Alright, let me try to get us a scoreboard. Let's go back to this game real fast. Let me get a scoreboard going. All right, what's going on here? Looks like Caleb's up on the clock a lot. Um, I mean, plus he's playing as black here. That's not good. He's down a lot. He's gonna try and weave some checkmate maybe. The knight's pinned. Shoot. Yeah, this knight is really well placed, covering a lot of the dark squares around the king, but okay. So we get a piece back. Rook takes, nice. Yo, there's a game left to be played here. Hitting the bishop. Oh, huge fork. Yes. King and queen forked by the knight. Comeback. Let's go. Okay, dropping the bishop doesn't matter. He's up the full rook. Oh my god, what a swing. Holy cow. Okay, I'm not a big fan of this move. I would keep pushing this guy. Oh boy. Alright, so we grabbed the pawn. King did not defend. We're getting a new queen. And that is GG. Oh my goodness. Caleb. Wow. That was huge. Okay, looks like this was our board 3 game. Looks like, well, who is this? This isn't them. Is it? Oh, it is. Okay. Well, we've lost our board 3 game, but that's okay. Let's see. I don't know what's MIT's colors. Is it like a red, like a maroon? Yeah, it's like maroon. Okay. All right, hold on. Let me change this. Let's look at this game. This is our board 1 against their board 4. So what's going on here? Caleb with the black pieces. Oh, that's a big check. Getting the queen back. Let's look at what happened here. We're down. I mean, well, it's 2 rooks for a queen. So look at this, man. Lining. Wow. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. Look at this move. Wow, okay, so white's trying to promote this pawn. Black, what is black up to? We can give check. King stepping in the way of this pawn in some lines. Gotta move the rook back. What else is there? Shoot, I don't want to give up the rook for the pawn, do we? We might have to. Takes, push the pawn. King's gonna step over. Well, you know, if king here, we can play king here. And if promote... Okay, so the pawn's pinned. Oh, there we go. Good pass pawn there. They're gonna try to bring this one in. Oh, boy. Here. To e7. And now take check, promote, take pawn, or give, you have check. Okay, so black has check, at least. This could just be a draw. He's got such little time. All right, so given some checks, do we dare take this pawn? Even if we trade the queens off, I don't know if that favors black. Oh, that wins the queen. That wins the queen. Yes. Oh, thank God. Wait. Yeah, okay, we're black. Okay, thank God. Oh my God. Wow, these are already some crazy games. I think we got mate next, unless no, he's running away. But we've got the pawn. Just don't stalemate, and we're good to go. So bring that king in. Holy smokes! Yeah, let's go back. Let's go back here. If the king steps over, we have queen f3 check. So that's probably what they were scared of, and then they just forgot about their queen. So what a huge game. I mean, that's our board 1 against their board 4, but our board 4 beat their board 1, so they could have returned the favor, which would have been unfortunate, but luckily we got that one. All right. So, yeah, I just have to change the color for here. Let's see. Okay. All right, 1 second. What's up, Halvard? I'm good. How are you? So UCLA took that round 3-1. Hot start. We are the bottom seed. Um, so if we can get this upset win, that would be huge. All right, I think I have the board ready. How's that look, you guys? Doesn't look too bad. All right, what's going on here? My God. This is their board 1 against our board 3. And they're just sacrificing all these pieces. The threat is queen coming in, checkmate. So, gotta defend g7. And now, my goodness, what's going on? Hopefully the attack doesn't account for much, but I mean, you gotta respect it. Rook g8 has been played, and now we need some defense on these dark squares. Maybe get this bishop involved somehow. Covering this e6 square would be nice. Yeah, see, so now this is a fork, and we're really low on the clock here. So, looks like this board 1 National Masters is taking some pretty good work on our board 3 here. Luckily, our board 4 had that really big win. So, yeah, I mean, should just grab the rook here, I think. Should be good. I don't see anything much better. Grab the rook, take the knight, and then just be down in exchange. Okay, so deciding to maintain the pressure on the knight and bring the bishop back. Actually, now you take, and you could be winning 2 exchanges. So, Yeah, and if you take this, you're getting mated as well here. My goodness. My goodness. Okay. Just queen here anyways. Yeah. And it's lights out. You can't. You got discover check and mate. Oh my god. Pretty. Really pretty. So their board 1 bounces back hard. And our board 3 is 0-2 now. Let's go back to, this is our board 4 against their board 2, I believe. Yeah. So let's get the point on the board for them. They've earned it. Yeah, Caltech does have a team. They have 3 teams, actually. Caltech's been doing pretty well in the 4th division. They have 2 teams. All right, so what's going on here? We are attacking e4 twice, but I think they can just take here, and we're going to take with the pawn to defend a7. They can take here right away, right? Or are we going to play a move? The thing is if we try to trap the bishop, we open up this diagonal, and they have 2 pieces that can come here eventually. Yeah, Mr. Poop Towel? You should. He goes to Caltech. That's pretty cool. Alright, so they do take on a7. So they have, this MIT team has 3 titled players. No, 2 titled players. So does our B team. We have 2 national masters. Oh, that's pretty cool. Is he good at chess? He doesn't even have to be, really, because there are lower division teams. Oh my goodness, 2400 on chess.com. If he isn't involved with their chess club, I'm sure Caltech would be more than happy to add him to the team. Yeah, well, it's definitely more than decent. That's for sure. All right, so bringing the queen out, hitting the bishop. Let's see. The knight's defending a2 here, so if this knight were to move, though, this could be an attack for black. So we'll see if this pawn ends up being too costly to grab, because queen a5 is a good reply. Good response, getting some counterplay. Once you unleash this bishop and move this knight, I'm thinking grabbing on e4. I mean, it's a knight sacrifice, but it might be worth it. So grabbing here first. We have a decision now, which bishop we want to take. All right, so taking with the b pawn. This is, all right, so that's a good square to go. Well, okay, let's go c5. Let's go c5. Let's do it. Nope, bringing the king in. Interesting. Face chess, thank you for the 100 bits. So yeah, I am doing fundraising for the UCLA Chess Club. Let me know, can you guys hear the alerts or not? Because I can, but I tried to disable them for this scene. And someone followed me, so whoever that was, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so queen to c4, preventing c5 from really threatening anything. So even if we started with c5, queen to c4 could have been played initially anyways. So now we're bringing the rook in. Ooh, that's a big pawn to give up. I didn't see that, because now the threat is, well, it's a fork. And if you want to protect it, you got to go bishop to f8, but I don't know, takes and the pawn's pinned. So maybe Rook to g8, dropping this pawn. Yeah, this king is very exposed here. Let's see. What could we do? Can we play like knight a5, sack a piece, takes, queen takes, and then I'm thinking of sacking the rook. But yeah, bishop takes here now is. Oh boy. Okay. Well, this is our board 4, so tough matchups for him. And he already beat their board 1. If he can just beat their board 4 and go even, that's pretty good. So, all right, the threat is to take here. A knight move could be fairly simple to defend. You have the bishop defending backwards. We could also just bring the queen back, but then you drop the bishop at some point. I would just play bishop takes e7. Wait, is this mating? I should calculate that first. King up. Or free rook. That's also good. Jeez Louise. Okay, what about bishop here? Nope. Yeah, that's the unfortunate news, is that also now if the bishop moves, we drop e7 with check, and yeah, he's defending. So there's no good threats here. All right, lining up the rook with the king, but this king's more than safe. If we play here, takes, rook takes, knight takes, family fork. So we got to get out of that. Added some extra attack here on d5. Can we play d5 now? No. All right, so they can't take because we take and win the bishop. So d5. There's always queen check. There's always, yeah, check. So takes, and queen check. And yeah, I don't think there's going to be any way to come back from this. Let's look at our board 1 against their board 2. So what's going on here? I think that's a second point for them. I think that's all tied up now. This is board 1 versus board 3. No, this is their board 3. This is their board 3. Let's see. This is I want to look at this. This is a strong knight. Might want to take this. And yeah, I mean the threat I think is to, well, this knight is also just taking a bunch of squares on the king's side. This queen would like to move up onto these dark squares potentially. This knight's here is defending a little bit. Okay, knight takes bishop, and then pawn takes. There's a check, but king steps up, and I'm not sure how you. Okay, you can get on this. I mean, not with the queen, but yeah, that would be interesting. You also have to be careful of f4. So Caleb's, or no, this is Anshul. Anshul's thinking here. He's thinking. Let's look at Caleb's game. So Caleb's about to flag. Well, there is 2-second increment, but Caleb's got a commanding position. he's demanding to get a passed pawn, so he's gonna push through. Okay, he's gonna target these weaknesses. So when you have an endgame like this, you want your pawns on opposite color squares of your bishop, and you want to lock your opponent's pawns. Don't repeat. Push through. Okay, so now the king's too far away to cover c7. So this was a mistake, and you can push this through playing here. The king's going to have to step in, or the bishop's going to have to step in to prevent d7 from being played, but now we can gobble up these pawns. So see, that's the benefit of having the pawns locked on your bishop's color. So there's a win for our board 2. Let's go back to Anshul's game. Alright, so maintaining a lead here. It's a close match. It's a close match. I think I had the colors right. Yeah, Caleb won that. Okay, so let's see. So we did end up going for this check, trading the bishops off, maybe first, and then bring the queen in to defend. We do end up seeing f4. So a move like g4, and now where's our knight going? Yeah, that's that doesn't look too good. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of the knight h3 check, but I did look at this line and I just didn't see g4 at the end, and I guess Anshul didn't either. So this would be a really big win for them. They're board 3 over our board 1. So we're gonna think here. I'm looking at h5 immediately, but king takes, pawn takes, queen takes. So we're just losing a knight. Alright, so going for f5, trying to open up our f file. They gotta take that, so they do. Now, do we want to take here? Probably, right? I like take, queen takes, and then rook f5. But then knight g3 is really annoying because I was looking at for some discovery attacks with the rook while the queen's pinned. No, so just adding some pressure onto e3, but the bishop can move and the rook's there. They can trade off. But if you trade off rooks with the queen, then g4 falls. Let's see. Can they also just play like g5 and lock things down? Although that wouldn't be too good for their bishop. Although it seems like, you know, they can play. I mean, the thing is they don't want the queen to step off. So the queen's going to have to develop. But also pay attention to g5 or g4. So, okay, knight to g3 guarding the f5 square. So that I didn't notice. But this is unfortunate. But it is a pinned pawn. How exactly to capture back? I mean, you don't really want to take out the pawn, ruin your, what remains of your kingside pawn structure. But also you just normally don't want to take pin pieces. So that is a free rook. Well, not free. You take and you get the piece back, but it is an exchange. It's a very interesting exchange. I'm not entirely sure how exactly. Alright, he just resigns there. I would have liked to have seen him play on a little bit, but oh well. That did seem like a free rook. But yeah, queen takes, and maybe there's something to play for. But anyways, let's adjust this. So their board 3 is on the board with the point. Very, very close match here. Tied 4-4. So UCLA with a hot start at 3-1 in the first round. MIT answers back 3-1 in the second round. So tied at 4. First team to 8.5 points wins. Let's look at this is our board 2 against their board 1. So their board 1 is answered really well from their first game because we beat them with our board 4, and he has since won his second game. So we'll see if Caleb can inflict some damage on him. Caleb's been flawless so far, so we'll see if he can keep it up. This is our board 1, so we'll see if he just lost to their board 3. Now he's up against board 2. We'll see if he can answer back. I would take this and like play here, or play bishop g5 first. Well, now this is gonna come. So let's see. Maybe. Okay, yep. Knight c6. You can give a check, but we gotta watch out for forks. This bishop takes would be a check. So where do we move the queen? Straight back one square. There's always this. I mean, there's this. Back all the way, d1. And d4 has been pushed, so maybe... Well, you can't go to these two squares. Well, you can go to a4. Alright, offering knight trade. So this is the third round. So this is a big match, because whoever wins this one will take a lead going into the fourth and final round. Alright, so bishop developed, attacking this knight. Bishop to g5, pinning the knight to the queen. There's this check though. There's bishop retreat or knight block. I like black here, to be fair. It just feels like there are some tactics that black has in this position. And white seems a little bit more behind in development because, yeah, both sides just need to develop one piece to castle, but it's black to move. Black can, get this development move in. And looks like you got a block with the knight there. And then queen can come out. I guess we could take here then. So let's see. What about like bishop takes? Bishop takes. Yeah, I don't think this works for white. Let's see. Bishop takes knight. Bishop takes. And then queen check. Bishop over. Bishop here. And now the knight's attacking our bishop. Oh, there's always this intermezzo check that we can give. I guess it holds, but it feels weird to me. So this is their board too. Definitely using their time here. Thanks for the host, Strider. I appreciate it. Let's go back to our board 2 against their board 1. Let's see how this has been developing. We've got a strong bishop on c4. I really like that bishop. So they're probably going to try to contest it. Bishop e6 is a move. Connecting rooks. Oh my god, look at this a7 pawn here. My goodness. What is going on? So if the bishop moves, potentially weak b7 pawn could be hanging. So they trade off rooks, and now we've got this open d file all to our rook. So that's good. Man, what else is happening here? So we do develop the bishop. Not taking right away, just stepping up with queen b3. It has sufficient defense with both knights and the queen. But the queen has a job protecting b7. And b7 is a huge pawn, so you don't want to drop that. Because then this rook might have to move. So let's see. The threat potentially could be taking here, removing one defender, and then I don't know. Caleb's pushing it here, so that's good. Okay, so just trading these off and playing a really fast queen to c4. Interesting. Yeah, you don't want to take because then we drop a7. What to do, what to do. They're under a minute. We have over 3.5 minutes. Pushing a5, maybe just hunkering this bishop in to b6. I was looking at this move. I feel like taking here, I mean, you invite the queen in and you're threatening mate on yourself, so that might not be too good. But the problem is, like, you can't move the g pawn because then h3 falls with check. And also now there's like a double sacrifice that they could play if they really wanted to. This knight's a really good defender covering these dark squares, preventing the queen from coming in, but yeah, and now that the queen has left the b file, b7 is no longer hanging. So yeah, if we ever give this up, I mean the threat right now is, I mean there's a couple threats. You have knight takes, and then knight takes knight with check, getting the piece back. But yeah, if h3 wasn't hanging, g3 would be a nice move after taking, and this knight is pinned to the queen, but there is this check, so yeah, it looks like black is infiltrating here. I don't think queen c4 was really the right response. But you know, you can take queen takes, and then there's always queen to, yeah, I would take this knight and ruin the pawn structure and then take back. That's what I would do. Nope. So taking here first. Now, gosh, yeah, this knight also looks pretty weak. Take here, queen takes, pawn takes, and then f3 can be played. Nope, so Caleb's just taking the pawn here. That's interesting. This pawn has been taken, but now the back rank could potentially be weak. No, the queen's guarding the checking square. So let's see. Can we... I really wish we could take advantage of that. Just keep on grabbing. All right, grab. And we grab again. Threaten checkmate. So black should probably recapture in one of two ways. Grabbing here first. Queen takes. They're really low on the clock. Oh, knight. The rook takes. I missed that. Okay, so when it's all said and done, well, they can play here. And the bishop's always here. So we can't just like grab this pawn. There's a check now. There's also this check. You can trade off the queens. Does this endgame favor you? Knight to e4 hits the rook. We're also looking at, you know, bringing the rook in first. Okay. f3, locking this in. Okay, trading off into the endgame. So we got a knight versus a bishop. Endgame. Let's see, is this king going to be able to... Well, there's always the knight here. So probably bishop... No? Okay. Interesting. Yeah, so I like... We got pawns on light squares. Opposite the dark square bishop. Yeah, let's hope that we can get a win here. This would be big. This is their board 1 against our board 2. Oh, looks like our board 1 drew. So the king's going to try to come in here. Ah, but we're threatening to take this. And where's this bishop going to go? Back here? No, so we're taking this. And then we've got so many pawns. Come on. So you can step up, defend the pawn, right? But also I would play here and then this. And then And then what? We have a check to give and try to run the pawn. Okay, so this is a good way to defend. Oh, but it takes here. Okay, save the pawn. No, the bishop's there. Shoot. Knight check saves the pawn, and then king up. Well, we dropped the pawn. Shoot. All right, but we've got 2 pawns to 1. We've got the superior king position. We've got the pawn. We're going to have the knight. We're going to win the bishop. So this king's going to try to grab this pawn here. You can play king here and here, but okay, yeah, here first, preventing b5 to be played. Oh, I love this move. Threatening the queen. How do you stop it? You don't. Oh, there we go. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff by Caleb. Taking down their board 1. Let's look at this game as it's wrapping up. Here, let me give a point to Caleb. He's flawless, 3-0 now. And then we had a draw on board 1 versus board 3 by repetition. So what tactic did we miss here? So here they gave the check and king f1 was played, sacking the queen, and they just took a repetition here. So pretty cool. I mean, we would have liked to have done more there, but what can you do, you know? So hold on, what happened here? I think, yeah, this was lost for us. This is their board 3 versus our board 4. Let's look at this game. This is our board 3 versus their board 4. So we had Anshul with 1.5 against their board 2, I believe, yeah. So 2.5. And then we lost, our board 4 lost to their board 3. So it looks like it's all tied up to me. Let's see. So after this game, yeah, this is the last game in the 3rd round, and it's very even in terms of the clock here. I like black, definitely up a pawn, but this bishop, well, bishop's under attack, now the knight's under attack. Bringing the knight back, saving this, grabbing an extra pawn, attacking this pawn, so we can take here. Oh, see, bishop here is not good, because takes, and okay, what's going on? I mean, bishop, oh, we're guarding that now, so push the pawns. Oh my god, is that a trapped bishop? Oh my god, yes, that's huge. That is huge. Okay, we can play a move like rook to d8, trying to get sneaky. They're gonna go for repetition. Are we gonna be sneaky? Try to fork. Don't repeat. You're not repeating. Don't. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, you've got these 2 outside connected pass pawns. Come on. Come on. Push them, baby. Yep, get the other one in. Oh, knight here is next. Knight to c3. Come on. There we go. Oh, I thought they flagged. They played with 0.1 second left, and now they flagged. All right, so we're taking that crucial lead, 6.5 to 5.5, going into the fourth round there. That was our board 3, getting their first point on the board. So Caleb's definitely carrying at 3 out of 3. Everyone else is contributing, though. Looks like their board 4 is the only player without any points. So it's tough when you're the lowest rated of all the teams. So really, hopefully, if they, get some points in this last round, they could help their MIT team out. But I'm hoping our board 4 can beat their board 4 and in the match 2 out of 4. Same with our board 3 against their board 3, but their board 3 is a national master, so that's going to be a tough match. So it comes down to boards 1 against board 1 and board 2 versus board 2. So this is our board 2, flawless against their board 2. Very strong player. Both really good players. Both leading their team in terms of points. Caleb 3 out of 3. This is Win Lee 2.5 out of 3. So both players undefeated. This is going to be a big match right here. And looks like Caleb's going to have to go down a pawn structure in terms of, doubled pawns, because this pin is... looks like Caleb elected not to bring the bishop back to e7 and is instead just asking this bishop the question, like, where do you want to go? So not taking right away and doubling the pawns. Probably wants to keep the queens on. So that's fair enough. Pushing g5. Wow. Just bishop g3 is the first move that comes to mind, but is there like a stronger punishing move? This is a very committal move here. G5 right in front of the king. Let's see, is the bishop going to come out with tempo? Is this queen going to get forked? These are all good questions. What is going on here? Yeah, bishop here looks pretty strong. What is the response to that? If bishop here, are we winning a piece in this line? Okay, pinning the king, that makes sense. Knight h5. Knight h5. No, bishop back. Now knight h5. After f4 block, I think we're winning at least a pawn. Where's the queen going to go? We're going to take the bishop. Unless queen here attacks the knight, then we grab the pawn. And we're just up a pawn. Don't want to take. All right, so taking here. Maintaining this threat. Bishop back. Can we play a move like g4? g4. Oh my god. g4. There's always these checks to keep in mind. You can also grab here. This is a crazy game so far. That g5 pawn push. Alright, so grabbing that bishop, offering another bishop trade. So Caleb's up a pawn here. He's fine with trading down. So how do you recapture? Queen takes probably. And now, we do have a somewhat exposed king over here. I think white's going to try to double up on that file. Maybe a rook lift. See, the queen's infiltrating, taking up some key dark squares, threatening rook, forking the queen and the pawn on h6. So maybe a move like f5 should be played here. I like f5. If we play c5, we drop d5. So maybe, you could also consider bishop e6, but rook n, again, attacking h6. And if the king steps up either way, there's going to be some checks. Definitely don't want to go to g7, lining yourself up with these discoveries. So probably to h7, and now you got to deal with checks along this diagonal. Is f5 forced? There's rook e8. You can block this way, but I think they just simply double up and then they're attacking f7 as well. So, yeah, I mean, f5 looks like the best move to me. That's for sure. Let's head over to our board 1 matchup. Okay, so Unchel's up on the clock. Queens are off. And this is an annoying pin. They can bring the knight or the bishop to defend. Or you just lift the rook as well. But I guess the problem is e5. So bishop comes over, defends the knight here, but also applies pressure on this b7 pawn if this knight were to move. So what's going on here? Yeah, so white's trying to double up these pawns, I suppose. I think we could just take knight takes e5 here. So yeah, we take, and this pawn's going to hang, but there's a lot of pressure here. We can double their pawns. And maybe our rook can infiltrate on the second rank. Okay, so do we take this? Ah, there's f7 hanging. Well, we can take here and just be up a pawn. They can take here, get the pawn back, trade off the pieces. Oh, but then rook here is really annoying. Wow. Rook takes e5. Okay, played. Now this is hanging, this is hanging. This could potentially be a thing. I'm hoping takes, because then rook here. So that's probably not what they're going to play because they're a very strong player. They know better than that. So what to play here? Just lift the rook somewhere. Probably to d2. No, okay. So we could bring the bishop all the way back if we wanted to. No? Okay. So saying, what are we saying? Takes rook up, defending our a pawn, and then when the bishop leaves from this attack, then we take their a pawn. I think the b pawn's more important than the a pawn because then black will have 2 isolated pawns, whereas white still has that 1 pawn island. So I feel like this is something worth considering at least. But also, you know, you could play a move like rook to b8 and win their b pawn, but at the same time you losing the a pawn. So you gotta hope that you get the second pawn back, right? Because they can protect it by just simply moving it. But you know, you are on the second rank, so that is pretty good. But this knight defends, the bishop defends. I would take here because you're at least hitting this bishop. Okay, this is important. Taking away a flight square. We should probably push g6. Yeah, this knight is a little awkward here, but it's defending some key squares around the king. So like no rook to d2 is possible. Because that would be an annoying pin to deal with. Obviously, if you could have played a move before, you would be losing your own rook thanks to check. But yeah, g6 has been played. The king's going to step up on these dark squares. The bishop's going to come out. Either e7 with a tempo or d6 looks pretty good. Similar idea, but yeah, these pawns are all on light squares. So bishop to d6 looks pretty strong to me, covering this potential flight square, also blocking this rook from the d file. Okay, so just rook b2 probably is going to be played here. They're really low on the clock here. We've got about 2 minutes. They've got 5 seconds. So yeah, let's play bishop d6. Let's go. What do they want? Knight to e4. Seems reasonable, right? Hitting this d6 square. So maybe not bishop to d6. I don't know. You think f5 would be a bad move to play? I don't think so. Okay. Yeah. This looks good. If king steps up. All right, so we do see the knight hopping in. F5. Yeah, F5 hits. 4, 3. Ooh. Hold on. You can take the bishop. You can take the bishop if you so wanted. What else is there? What else is there? You do rook takes d2, knight takes d2, and then bishop to g5 is pretty annoying. Let's see. They can get out of that. No, they can't. I'm thinking of like attacking this rook, but they might just lose an exchange if they... Okay, just maintaining this, and now the knight moves bishop g5 skewer, getting that exchange. So yeah, this is all pretty good here. You can take this, give up your rook here. All right, so that was a big win. Board 1 versus board 1. Let's look at our board 3s here. Almost no time left. Hold on, let's look at our board 2s actually. They also don't have any time. What's going on here? Oh, Caleb up a rook, but getting checked galore. Let's see if their checks are gonna run out. Looks like black is gonna win this one. So that's really good news. There we go. Boards 1 and 2 with the win. That's huge. So now it's down to boards 3 and 4. Let's update this. I think, did we clinch the win with that? Caleb, a flawless 4-0. I think that's it, you guys. That lead going into the 4th was huge because then those 2 wins is enough to get the match. And now it doesn't even matter what happens here. Although, you know, we wish our boards 3 and 4 best of luck. I like black here. Black's definitely the one pressing. But, you know, maybe this rook can get some activity if this pawn becomes passed. So, yeah, the king's covering these squares. Not going for the pawns. Oh, so the king was already... Yeah, these pawns are going to fall. Maybe... Yeah, defending this, but that falls now. And looks like white's just collapsing. Takes. This might be a threat, but not really. I would have tried to go for rook to g6, because if the rook leaves, you grab this pawn. If the rook takes, you get the passed pawn. This is falling. There could be a mate threat soon. I mean, e4 falls, but grabbing, and now... Okay, so you could trade off a rook. Don't really want to, though, is a problem. This is close to mate. We've got to move here. Rook here is annoying. And rook here. And then... Okay. Yo, dirty flag. What's the threat? That's mate. Okay, so... Oh. Not mate yet. We can grab that. Check here, block. Block with the rook, no. Take here and then play here. No, and you lose that. So check, I like. Oh, are they gonna ladder mate? No. Shoot, we need to get this pawn somehow. They're building up time. Let's look at our board 4 matchup here. So, oh my goodness. Lots of pawns still. Both sides have all of their pawns this late into the game. We've only got 5 seconds here. Looks like black could just take this and win a pawn. But they really like their knight on d4, it seems. Interesting. So they do take. take, and now can we push here? Yeah. So the idea is that the e pawn is pinned. So if c takes, we have rook takes, and they can take, and then we take here, and they have these isolated pawns to have to worry about. Not taking. Interesting. So, oh yeah, I would. Oh, that's a free rook. Don't do that. Oh, that's what happens when you only have 4 seconds left. Yep, there it goes. Queen's gonna come in, but queen can come back and block. Grabbing this pawn, hitting this rook, return the favor. Rook for rook? No. Okay, so this is lost for black. I mean for white. Or double up, yeah. Just rook here is really strong because you're gonna sack on h3, checkmate. Not even going for it. I mean, just trade off queens is fine. Pawn takes and rook on over, king over, rook back, rook in, grab this. You can play here. But, you know, they're going to go anywhere and then double up and g2 is going to fall. Or they can push. Doesn't matter. Black's just crushing here. So, yeah, this is unstoppable. e2. Rook over. Rook f1 is mate. So, GG. GG. What ended up happening on the board threes? Yeah, it looks like they won on the board 3 setup as well. Man, they had so many pawns on. I guess both boards did. What happened here? Luckily, we still won that match by a half a point. So, yeah, this game was lost, but our board 3 here, Alex, definitely fought till the very end. So black doing a good job, not repeating, trying their best. This was close to ladder mate, but the pawn's there. So now trying to push here, trying to double up here. Yeah, that's tough. That's really tough. Yeah, there's a queen. All right. Well, let's update these final scores. They're board 3 going 3-1, and they're board 4 ending the match with a point. But at the end of the day, we got the final score that we needed, 8.5.